All right, folks, you know what time it is. I apologize in advance for filming this in this orientation, but I was just on my brisk Sunday morning, well, Sunday afternoon, Sunday afternoon walk here on the way to get me a big fat breakfast burrito. And what do I see? What do I see? Oh, I think you know what I saw. Let's go find out. Are you guys Jehovah's Witnesses?
Yes.
Oh, cool. I actually know a few Jehovah's Witnesses.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're really nice, nice people.
Well,
But
thank you.
You guys you guys have something special going on right now, or what?
No, we do public preaching, and so we're offering free Bible studies.
Oh, I thought you guys just went door to door. I didn't know you guys.
Yeah, we do public preaching as well.
Oh, wow, that's cool. Like, so you guys just walk around with these carts and stuff?
So we have designated areas where there's people trafficking, so usually like bus stops.
Like malls.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you know what? Actually,
we never find our homes. Yeah, that's right.
yeah, actually, you know what? I think I might have seen some Jehovah's Witnesses standing near the Alamo one.
Oh, okay, yeah, downtown.
But I thought it was just for a special thing because they had a thing recently.
We did.
The
Yes.
memorial.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what they were calling it. Yeah. But I thought
did,
it was just for that. Though.
We did have a special campaign downtown. It was because of the NCAA was here.
Yeah,
so
yeah, that was that weekend.
So
yeah,
a lot of tourism coming in. So we wanted to just make sure to extend the invitation to everyone to come to the memorial.
Oh, wow. So this is just in general then, kind of preaching.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool. Yeah, no,
this witnessing is called public preaching. So we come out to the public and.
Now, I would take one, but they're all in Spanish, and my Spanish is not the best. It's not. It's not good. I mean, I wish I could speak Spanish. I was raised in a family that does speak Spanish.
Okay.
But never learned. But that's cool though.
Watch TV in Spanish and you learn.
Watch TV in Spanish. Actually, that's how I learned Japanese.
Oh, okay.
Yep, that's how I learned Japanese. It's a cool language, by the way. Actually, I had a question because there was something that confused me. I read something in the Bible. Now, this isn't a Jehovah's Witness specific question, just a Bible question because I'm not sure. The story of Judas and how he,
Judas Iscariot.
Yeah, and how he died and everything. I was told two different ways. One that he gutted himself and he died. Yeah, and then the other one is that he bought a piece of land or something and hanged himself on it or something like that. Or not was it hanged? Yeah, so I'm confused. How did he die?
So let me get my phone.
I have lots of questions about the Bible that I never ask anybody because I don't know anybody that really knows about the Bible too much. I mean, my own family also is not really. They don't know anything.
Oh.
But
read the Bible. Sometimes when I'm a child, I don't understand so many things.
Yeah.
And I have so many questions. And I have to understand with my own Bible. And my Bible is huge. It was my grandmother's Bible, the old one. So it's a lot to read and a lot to understand. But when you understand, you can understand the whole Bible.
Right, yeah. Now, I remember my friend that's a Jehovah's Witness says that the reason they have these magazines is to help you understand the Bible better.
Yeah, and when you put in practice what you learn, it's better for you. And many things you can do.
Well, that's good. That's good. Yeah, I mean, I'm always up for learning some more.
We're not perfect, but we try to do the best.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, nobody's perfect,
exactly.
Right? I mean, the Bible says that, right?
Exactly. Just God.
Just God. Well, and I guess according to the Bible, Jesus was perfect too, right?
Yes.
But he's gone now, so.
So I don't know if since we don't have any publications in English, I don't know if you're familiar with the website jw.org.
I think I've seen the little, the little blue thing that you guys have, the little blue box.
The little logo.
Yeah. But I see that on the front of the Kingdom Hall.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they call the church, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not really familiar. I mean, I know that the Jewish people, they call theirs the temple.
Temple. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Well, in the Bible, it's a synagogue. So the synagogue
synagogue. Yeah.
The Jewish temple.
Yeah. I remember stuff about that. I remember in the Bible that Jesus went into was it the synagogue and he knocked over all the tables and stuff with a whip. because he was angry that they
He's
were
angry they're
changing money in there.
exploiting. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. That sounds like familiar. See, I
You
remember.
know I laugh.
Yeah.
Huh?
You know I laugh.
Oh, I remember some. Yeah, some stories really stick with you, like that one, because it was righteous indignation. He was angry that that they were doing that kind of thing in some place that was sacred.
Yes.
So, yeah, those kinds of things stick with you when you're a kid. But that was one of the things that I never understood, though, the Judas things, because like in one place in the Bible it says he died a certain way, but then in another place it says he died a certain way. So I'm like, did he do both? Did he just gut himself and then hang himself? Or
So
like,
here, you can find it in Matthew 27:5. It says, Judas hung himself. Acts 1:18 says, pitching head foremost, he's noisily burst in the mist, and all his intestines were poured out.
Right.
Matthew seems to deal with the mode of attempted suicide, while Acts describes the results, combining two accounts, just like you said, right?
right, yeah.
It says, it appears that Judas tried to hang himself over some cliff, but the rope or tree limb broke, so that he plunged down and burst open into a rock below. The topography around Jerusalem makes such an event conceivable.
Huh.
Also related to his death is the question of who brought the burial filled with the 30 pieces of silver. According to Matthew 27:6 and 7, the chief priests decided that they could not put the money on the sacred treasury, so they used it to buy the field.
Right, yeah.
So it says the account in Acts, is that your verse that you're waiting for? Or?
Oh,
No.
no, that's the fire.
Okay.
Sorry.
It says the account 1:18-19 speaks about Judas saying, this very man therefore purchased the field with the wages for unrighteousness. The answer seems to be that the priest purchased the field, but since Judas provided the money, it could not be credited to him. Dr. A. Dean Edenshine pointed out, for the purchase of the sacred things, money that had been unlawfully gained, in such cases the Judas law provided that the money was to be restored to the donor, and if he insisted on giving it, that he should be induced to spending it for something for the public well-being. It says, by fiction of law, the money was still considered to be Judas, to have applied by him purchasing the well-known potter's field.
Right.
Where was that?
So it's saying
So-
that it's like a combo of the two events.
No.
That's actually true.
So he hung himself, and then that's the way he died. His intestines were splattered over in that land.
Okay, so they're saying that technically both happened.
Yes,
in a way.
Yes. So it says, of course, in if you download the JW app here, you can look up any question you want, and it gives you all the answers.
Wow. Well, but how do I like? Cause, I mean, I've like I said, looked in the Bible before, and obviously I even came back confused from that.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, could I like speak to somebody about it? Like, is there a number I can call to like talk to people about it?
Well, we actually offer free Bible studies. We can meet up at a place, and someone can give you a free Bible study if you're interested in one, and you can have, or if you're not interested in a Bible study, you just want your answers, your questions answered, then you can also do that as well.
I might be open to learning a little bit more, just because I've always been so curious, and it like all that we didn't really learn too much about it. Like I said, I remember certain stuff out of the Bible, but not everything. And it wasn't really pounded into me or anything. It was just like kind of a passive thing that we were taught, just a little bit. And so like it's very vague, the knowledge that I have on it.
The thing is, like, sometimes it's like people it's like, why is the sky blue? Oh, because 75% of the earth is filled with water, so the water reflects into the sky. And really that's not really why the sky is blue. So kids grow up thinking all this their whole life, and then what do they say? Well, this is why I know the sky is blue. So
Right.
it's the same thing. We grow up, if you're not brought up religiously or well trained in the Bible, then you go off of or based off of what other people show you. Right. So in this case, that's how a lot of people are.
Yeah.
So it's like, what
so
our
funny,
purpose? I know what our purpose is to make sure that we show people what the scripture actually says. Show them directly from the Bible.
Yeah, that's what I like. That's what I hear about you guys, is that you use the Bible all the time. Like even at your services, that you like are always
Yes. We're very diligent
that's
Bible
good,
readers.
Like most people that say they're Christian don't actually read the Bible
Yeah.
or don't understand it. which is, I mean, they try to read it, but then they have their own kind of idea of what it means.
Well, when
And
we
they
go
don't
for a
really get
Bible
it.
study, it's on or temas, ¿cómo se dice?
Themes
Temas.
or subjects.
You understand better.
Yeah.
So like
It's like if you're interested in a certain subject, then that's what we're gonna like. If you're interested in dinosaurs, well, then that's what we're gonna talk about. Dinosaurs, you know. If you're interested in
Family?
family, is it possible to live happy with difficulties in the family? You know.
Oh yeah, actually, you know what? Speaking of difficulties in the family, I've heard some stuff about Jehovah's Witnesses, but like I never knew to believe it or not because like the ones I knew were really nice.
Yeah.
You know, that I've never had any issues with them. They were really nice, but I've heard some stuff from friends of mine that I guess they knew some that were not very nice.
Yeah.
They told me that one told me that their family member passed away because they rejected blood, right?
Okay. Yeah.
it happened
Uh,
to me
So
last year.
Oh,
And look
you
at me.
lost a family member?
No.
her.
Oh,
And look at me.
Yeah. So the thing with blood, God views blood sacredly.
yeah,
So
that's what I was told.
So
Yeah,
what we should do is the Bible clearly says in Leviticus and in Hebrews, in
oh, I
Acts,
was told, yeah, Acts,
yeah, Acts.
Acts 15,
Yes,
something.
in
Yeah.
in Acts it
You
says.
don't mind if I say it
Yeah,
right?
yeah, no. It says abstain from blood. So
Right.
what are we supposed to do? Abstain from blood. But now, does that limit our options?
Doesn't the Bible say not to eat it though?
Yes. So it says abstain from blood. Also, that when it said not to eat it, it was talking about making sure you pour out all the blood from the animal before eating it, right? So like blood
okay.
sausage,
Right. So yeah.
So what is it? Does that limit us as Jehovah's Witnesses not to accept blood? No.
No, you guys can't take blood.
So we can accept fractions of a blood cell. Now, in this case, you have to understand what does blood mean? What does blood consist of?
Well, they told me it's the same. It's like synonymous with life.
Yes. So in this case, you got blood. What does a blood cell contain? You got your four components. You got your white blood cell, red blood cell, your plasma, and your platelets.
I think
Now,
I know where you're going with this.
You know.
Okay, I think I got it. You're saying like if you can't, that you can't eat like just one part of it, right? Like because it's the same as eating all of it.
So and then not only that, you see, as a Jehovah's Witness, you gotta know what does what the components are and what makes the blood cell.
Oh, they get scientific with y'all, huh?
Yes. So then the red blood cell, what is the purpose of the red blood cell? The purpose of the red blood cell is to carry oxygen and carbon monoxide into the body in and out. It also has a protein called hemoglobin.
Yeah.
Now, and that has iron, and that regulates whether if our blood's going to coagulate or not. Now you got something called the white blood cell that has neutrophils, leukocytes, and what does
Wow, are you like a scientist?
no, I'm not a scientist. So how is that gonna, how is that gonna benefit us, in when we abstain from blood or going into, the surgery room? So when we talk about fractions of a blood cell, how would you explain it? Now, just imagine you have a cake, right? You're not gonna consume the cake or a piece of the cake. You're gonna consume an ingredient that this cake was made.
So you're allowed to take just like the eggs, but not the whole cake.
Not the vanilla, not the sugar, not the oil, not the water.
Why
not
is
the milk.
that? Like, why is it okay though? Like, just to take a part of the hamburger, but not the whole hamburger?
So it's like, would you consider the lettuce a hamburger?
No. But I mean, it is still part of what makes the hamburger the hamburger.
Now, take this for instance, like a person with that is diabetic, right? Now, they need insulin because what happens is that their glucose goes really low because their pancreas is not producing it, right? So what happens is that in this case, the person who's lacking insulin is going to need that from the animal. Now, we can also accept fractions of a blood cell from animals too. And in this case, if you're in a surgery and you're bleeding out and you need some kind of patch to coagulate it, that's going to carry fractions of a blood cell. Or say, for instance, you're going into a dental procedure and they're going to do extensive scaling. What's going to happen in that case? You need a factor 8 to coagulate the blood inside so you don't bleed out. Or just say, for instance, People that have heart conditions, they use blood thinners such as a baby aspirin.
So you guys basically pick and choose which part is the most necessary that you would have needed from the whole blood transfusion in the first place.
Only fractions of a
So
blood cell.
Right.
Yeah.
So you just take that part
Now
that you
that
need.
is up to the person's conscience.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Wait, yeah, that's another thing. I heard that you guys can actually get in trouble for that. That's why I was asking, actually. Because I heard you guys can get in
Like
trouble
me,
for it.
nothing. My conscience say I don't
She
want
doesn't
it.
want fractions.
I don't need nothing.
Now,
I do natural
I'm
things.
glad you're still alive.
And they help me. Well, because I do all this stuff.
Now-
Like natural things. And they help me.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
that's good.
So now,
Natural
like,
is
say, for
always
instance,
good.
the red blood cell, she was lacking the hemoglobin. What brings up the hemoglobin? Iron, right? So what is she gonna consume? She's gonna consume lentils, beets, legumes, and red meats that have iron to bring up the red blood cell. Now, what happens? Say, for instance, I don't want to accept fractions of a blood cell. So what do I choose? I have other options such as hemodilution, cell salvage, and I also have dialysis in case if I have kidney problems.
There's so many options.
Where do you, like, okay, since witnesses can't, like, they can't take blood, I assume you guys can't donate blood either.
No.
So then where do you guys get your fractions from?
So when you talk about fractions of blood cell, they're in medication.
Okay. But they have to extract those from somewhere.
Yes. So
you guys don't donate, but you'll take some blood. Okay.
But that's what
Fair
is
enough.
it? The medication, like say for instance, let's put it this way. I'm a Jehovah Witness, but I go into a Catholic hospital.
Oh, you don't really have a choice in this city, right?
Exactly. So does that mean that you're betraying your faith?
I don't know. I guess that would be up to you guys, wouldn't it?
But it would be in general for everybody, because it's like, well, if I'm gonna die, and
I'm in a Baptist hospital.
yeah, but she's in a Baptist hospital. So does that mean because she's Jehovah Witness, they're not going to treat her? No.
Well, I would hope not. That's kind of against the HIPAA law.
Yeah, exactly. So it's the same thing. That's why it's left up to our conscience. Now,
But could you get in trouble, though, if you did take a blood transfusion? Like an actual blood transfusion?
you know what? If that's your relationship, the Bible says to abstain from it. So how is that going to be in your conscience with what the Bible says in your relationship with God?
Well, I know, but I'm just asking, like, because like I said, my friend told me that what happens is if you take a transfusion and they find out about it in the congregation, that you'll get kicked out.
No.
Yeah.
No.
That you'll get expelled or
shunned.
No, not that word.
Disfellowship.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Disfellowship.
So
it's a strange word.
So disfellowship means that there's no association with the congregation.
So that's kind of like shunning.
So yes, it's shunning. So now,
so that is true then.
So no. So what I'm explaining is what disfellowship is.
Oh,
okay. So
I'll let you talk. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So what happens? Say for instance that we don't know what our faith is. I step down off that curb, the bus hits me, right? I go to the hospital, and at that moment, I decide to refuse everything that my power of attorney card says regarding my blood transfusion, right? Or I mean, my health. So, and if I want a blood transfusion, then so be it. It's my life.
Still the wrong one.
It's my life. Is that the bus we're waiting for?
Supposed to be the 534.
Oh yeah, that one passed.
That's the one that passed, right?
Yeah.
Probably be another ballot.
So what happens? That's up to my conscience. I will always, I can always go to the congregation. Now, what my decisions are, if nobody's is nobody's
Is it?
So-
I thought that they kind of were involved in your stuff a
So,
little bit.
like, say now, would they know?
Not unless you told them. But
Exactly.
if you're a decent person,
Exactly.
then you should be able to discuss what you're doing, right?
So if I was a decent person, would I accept blood transfusion if the Bible says that?
The Bible doesn't say anything about blood transfusion.
Well, it says abstain from blood.
It says not to eat blood.
And it says abstain from blood as well.
Yeah, but But
So
I don't know. It doesn't say blood transfusions.
it does. Well, okay. So like, say for instance, here it said like you got to know the law and the principle. What's the difference between the law and the principle?
Okay, well, here's something to consider. Didn't Jesus say he wants mercy and not sacrifice?
But
That would be a sacrifice. That would be allowing yourself to die.
well, no, because
For no reason.
there are other options. So like, say for instance, church sacrifices. Um, it wouldn't be a sacrifice because it's a law. Because Jesus also in the Bible it also says that
God,
we
not God, sorry. Jesus, wasn't he saying like that life is basically more important than the law? In fact, there is a part of the Bible where he throw a donkey or save a donkey or something, or a sheep or a goat from a well, and it's on a day where they're not allowed to work.
yes.
So because life is more valuable than the law.
Yes.
Life above the law.
Because
So then doesn't
the
that
Pharisees and the
disprove that?
Sadducees, the Pharisees and the Sadducees were seeing that this man had a crippled hand, and they were just focused on him, and they didn't want to. They were like, okay, well, how are we gonna kill him? What are we gonna, pin him down for? And they were just looking at him, and but they didn't treat anybody. It was just only a matter of life and death. But there, Jesus tried to kill that man. Okay, so back to the.
But Jesus clearly states in the Bible that life is above, like the value. Life is more valued than the law.
Was he talking literally or symbolically?
Quite literally, actually, because he was trying to save something's life.
Yes,
and that same applies here with the blood. Why would Jesus wouldn't want you to die for that?
When he's talking about the life, it's talking about everlasting life, not life here in this system of world or the system of things.
I'm pretty sure he was talking about whatever animal he was saving, actually.
So when he was saving that animal, he was the Lamb of God. He was the one sacrificing himself for our repentance, and so we can have a better relationship with him. So sometimes when we read those accounts, there's a double meaning. There's a parable behind it. So when it was talking about the life, it was talking about everlasting life, to gain everlasting life. So
I mean, that's what you guys believe, right?
But then again, back to the blood. She doesn't want any fractions
That's
of
my
herself.
conscience.
That's her
my
conscious
personal
decision. So
everybody has that right. Yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
I have the right to decide for my own things.
Right.
And my conscience says, no, I don't want this.
But now, does that mean that
Funny back.
does that mean that it eliminates her options? No. What happens is that she has the option to do chemodilution. So what is chemodilution? Chemo.
Yeah, it's where they just take a small amount and they make it.
No.
Isn't that what they do? They like use some part of it and then they like basically make it a little more voluminous.
So hemodilution is the blood cannot leave the body because, like, say for instance, would it be wise for me to take out my own blood and say that it's my own blood? Wouldn't that be reasonable? If just in case anything happens in the future, I have blood. No, because it's already left the body.
It's not as good, right? It lasts very short time. Right?
Exactly. So it gets contaminated, right? So what happens with all this blood that they extract from humans? What happens with it? It goes bad.
I mean, not around here actually. Well, I actually donate blood pretty regularly, so I know that they actually have a huge shortage of blood in this.
Yes, exactly. I was reading an article not too long ago.
So it doesn't get thrown away; it's getting used.
8 million, liters, of blood. And I'm like, oh my gosh, so what are they doing with all of it? So in this case, what happens with the hemodilution? They extract, say, for instance, a liter, 2 liters, whatever they need to work with. They put in a placebo, but it's it's always running through your body.
Yeah. Okay, so kind of like what they do in that like when they have open heart surgery and they're circulating your blood through that little machine to keep your heart pumping.
Actually, cardiologists, nephrologists, urologists, they actually say it's safer and the person lasts longer. Lasts longer without blood transfusion.
I'll have to look that up because that doesn't sound right. But.
So I work in a hospital. I work downtown. I work in a children's hospital. So
now that's why you know so much. I should have guessed medical professional. And I should have guessed
I
medical
never
professional
explained the
instead of
same like she
scientist.
explained.
So, and then you also have your self-salvage. What's lost blood for the surgeon is not lost blood for the patient, And what they do is they pick up all the blood, they wash it, So we're not limited, we're not like,
Well, what do you think of children making this decision? Do you think that that's ethical?
Okay, so
Because I've seen a lot of cases where actually there's
children have their own voice.
There's that, but there's also like cases where the parents are trying to do this to an
The
infant.
doctors want the transfusion because they don't want to work. It's something with the kidney and that's it. There's so many options to.
They use blood transfusions because they do work and they're effective. And
but what happens?
They've been proven to be effective.
After you get that blood transfusion, what happens?
Nothing. You're healthy.
No. You actually have to go back and get your blood tested. The first 3 months, the 6 months, and then after that a year, and then
that's
3
just
years.
a precaution. But you do realize that they
why
test.
Would there
They
be a
test
precaution
blood
if it's healthy.
They test blood extensively before it even gets to you.
But
it's just a precaution.
But even because I was also reading an article, even through blood fractions, one can get AIDS, hepatitis. Even through a toilet seat where you're not even having, you just open skin contact, you can get illness. These diseases, these viruses. So,
speaking of blood, I had a question about your memorial thing. Your memorial, the thing that you guys have with you guys pass around wine and bread, right? Why don't you guys drink or eat the stuff? Like, why don't you drink the wine and eat the bread?
So what this is?
Because in the Bible it says, Jesus said, if you do not eat my flesh and drink my blood, there is no life in it.
And right under it, one of the apostles says, he goes, well, didn't you say that, like, because he was being kind of smart, He was like, well, he goes, well, if we eat your flesh, didn't you tell us to abstain from blood? He's like, didn't you say, wouldn't that be sinning if we drink your blood and eat your flesh? And he goes, no, it was something symbolically,
Right,
so,
but he's saying to do this in remembrance of
yes.
him.
So
that's why everybody partakes at other churches.
Only the ones that are going to heaven, which are the 144,000 that are stated in the Bible, stated in Revelation.
Yeah, the kings and priests stuff, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Just that.
Huh. Well, that's confusing. What about
you have a lot of interesting questions.
Oh yeah. Like I said, I am very interested in the Bible. Yeah. I just never get to talk to anybody about it because none of my friends are really religious, and my family, like I said, they barely understand it themselves. So.
Yes, Sally's a lot. Jehovah's Witnesses. They're not active. They're not just for names. And then explain to you exactly what.
You will find a lot of people that say, "Oh, I grew up as a Jehovah's Witness, or my parents were Jehovah's Witnesses," but you don't see that they portray themselves to be that way. Or
like my daughter, she learned about the Bible, but she decided she don't want to be a Jehovah's Witness, and that's fine. That's her decision. And
are you allowed to talk to her?
Yeah.
You're allowed to talk to her?
She lives with her.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, that she's a minor, though, right?
No,
25.
Oh, wow. And you're still allowed to talk to her. Okay.
Yeah, well, no.
Nothing.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong. She was never baptized.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. So she's not. Yeah. She's not being held accountable because she didn't make the choice to dedicate her life.
Now, say, I kind of understand what you're saying. What you were thinking. So you were probably thinking that she was baptized and she was still living with her, and that she shunned. And then
she said she knew the Bible. Usually, actually, I've heard cases where the kid is raised in the truth. The truth, right? Yeah. That's what they call it.
Yeah, the truth.
Yeah, it's that the kid is raised.
Bible truth.
Right, the kid is raised in the truth, and then they consider that to be pretty much the same as that they already know everything, even though they weren't baptized, and they'll still treat them like they'll shun them.
Like
I've heard that.
Like Catholics and other religions, the children grow up, but they never go to church. They never do things like the church do. Just by the name.
They just say I'm Catholic. I'm Catholic, but
that's
they're not Catholic. So just like
Faith without works.
so it looks like
Faith without works.
yeah, you know, faith without works is in vain. So
Dead.
yeah,
My daddy-in-law was the
I
Bible
know a
faith.
little tiny bit, but I don't
Yeah.
know everything about the Bible. I don't.
so here you see
Certainly don't.
now we're able as witnesses we're able to work with any type of Bible translation or Bible version.
Really? Because I actually heard something interesting about that too. I heard that you guys, there are scriptures in your Bible that are changed a little bit from the way others. And I
Yeah,
also,
everybody-
I heard that, you guys took some scriptures out too. On top of that,
and
she knows, I guess.
Well,
Here.
she's playing better in English. My English is
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
I
Yeah.
understand perfectly what you said.
Lo
So
siento.
she speaks very good.
Mi español es muy terrible. I don't even know
Well,
Spanish.
we need to practice.
So here we have the New World Translation, the reference, the King James, the Byington, the Kingdom Interlineal, and the American Standard. Those are all the Bibles we use.
Okay.
So we're not limited just to one. Now, I am also, just so you know, I'm also an interpreter for the hospital.
Oh, that's cool.
Okay.
So you like ASL or what?
So no, I do Spanish.
Oh,
So-
Of course.
So, well, what happens here? Now, you got to know the difference between what a translation, a translation, a translation, and a version. What's the difference between it? So, the version is
Somebody's interpretation versus the literal translation.
now what is a translation?
It's just a direct, like, literal translation of the wording.
Exactly. So now you got the King James version, and then you got the New World Translation.
Well, the King James version was written the way it was to try to make it easier for people then to understand.
Exactly. But now, if you actually read it, it says, "Thou shalt love thy neighbor." You know, we don't talk like that.
Well, I mean, I don't think the Bible was. I don't think the Bible was like. It doesn't sound like the way that it sounds in the Jehovah's Witness Bible either. Like they don't talk like that either.
So, what is going on? We actually go into like extensive research back into the Hebrew, Arabic, and Hebrew, Greek,
Aramaic.
and Aramaic
Yeah.
scriptures. You know, now who actually has a copy of the? Oh, look, there's your bus.
Oh, I still talk to you. I still have time.
Do you want my number?
You know what? No, I have time. I can still talk.
Okay,
Well,
It's
we
okay.
eat every Saturday and Sunday.
Yes.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. So if you want to come by next Saturday.
I'm totally fine. I was literally just gonna go get some tacos.
Oh, okay.
I can totally wait. I'm totally fine hanging out here. It was a very interesting conversation. I love talking to people about this stuff, but nobody ever wants to talk to me about it. Like sometimes, actually, I had occasionally gotten a Jehovah's Witness at my door, but they never want to answer my questions. So like they always want me to go to the website.
Have I answered?
You're starting to answer some of them. It's just like I'm sure it's going to get more in depth if
Yeah.
I continue to ask you stuff.
Yeah.
Like oh gosh, I have billions of
A lot
questions.
of people have so many questions but don't have the courage to ask, like you.
Yeah, well, I mean, I saw you guys standing there. I was like, well, here's my chance.
Yeah.
Might as well, And I'm sure that you were standing here
For
waiting
this
to answer.
reason. Yeah.
Yep.
You know, the thing is that when we stand here at the park, we got to make sure that we're prepared.
Mhm.
Or when we go out to
Makes sense.
when we go out to someone's door, we got to make sure that we're prepared. Because, say for instance, if I go to a door and I know I don't know who's behind the door, and it's a doctor, a scientist, a lawyer, a judge, a court
We got to be ready to
official.
talk to all kinds of people.
So we have to be ready, and we have to make sure that we're well educated in the scriptures.
Right.
So to be able to explain.
And be honest, if we don't have the answer at the moment,
Yeah. Let's say
We'll
we'll
research
research
it.
back with the answer.
Well, at least that's a smart answer.
Yeah.
You should
Yeah,
research what you're
Yeah,
getting.
we just don't. We don't want to be like.
Right, yeah. No, but yeah, but back to like the shunning thing, like, I mean, I also had somebody tell me that like, they knew somebody who was a child, and that they had something very bad happen to them by some man in the congregation, and that they were interrogated by three of the church officials in a little meeting by themselves, and that they were asked things like, "Did you enjoy it? Did you scream?" Things like that, and that they were basically not taken seriously, and that they were not the person was not reported to the police because there were not two witnesses. And they take that from a scripture in the Bible, which is talking about something like that. I'm pretty sure they don't mean like that kind of thing, because my goodness, I would think that you would believe somebody, if they, especially a child who says they were
what you're talking
hurt
about, there's not two witnesses. So we got to go back to Mary, Jesus' mother. Now Joseph came and he was like, "Oh my gosh, you're pregnant." Why wasn't she shunned? Right?
Right.
And why didn't he? Why didn't he divorce her? Because they were not married yet.
Yeah, I know. I remember that.
So, but why didn't they divorce? Because before, when they already had plans to get married, it was already like they were married.
Mhm.
That was back then. Now here too, common law. You've been with that person, for 5 years. You have some kind of, you know.
Yeah, it would have been pretty shameful for him if everybody thought that, like,
Yeah, she was having intercourse with someone.
Wouldn't she have had to be killed?
Exactly. And especially the way women were viewed back then. So in this case, there wasn't two witnesses. Now also, then by divine inspiration, he was told by an angel in his dream. So now there always has to be two witnesses. Now, when a case like that gets reported to the congregation, they're notified. Now, the elders, that's a personal matter. That's a personal business. That's something that's happened. Now, they have no say so if they're not going to call the authorities. It's up to that person if they want to first know.
Okay, so that's the next part of what happened, though. Like, so the child's parent ended up, saying, well, okay, they're not going to do anything about it. They called the cops, and then they ended up getting disfellowshipped.
Exactly. Oh, the parents?
Yeah.
No,
parents. The parent and the child were both. Nobody wanted to talk to them or have anything to do with them anymore. Well, they were considered as bringing a bad name for Jehovah or something like that. That's what they
said. That sounds false. But in the
it
case,
happened. No, it actually happened. So this is 100% true.
So in that case, when you take something so serious, a serious case like that to the elders, they'll listen, they'll take the notes. Now they have no responsibility.
That's actually not true. They are mandated reporters.
No, they have no responsibility as to say, well, we're gonna call. Like they'll give you advice to what to do.
They are mandated reporters. They have to, by law, tell somebody if somebody tells them something like that. That is against the law.
On the scriptures.
How long ago did this happen? It was like 10 years ago.
So okay, so when something like this happens, they report, let's say for instance, I get abused by a fellow member. Mm-hmm. I report it. Mm-hmm. Now, they're going to give me the guidance with biblical scriptures to what to do. Now, it's my responsibility to take action on that.
No, according to the law, it's theirs. Once you share that information with them, they are mandated reporters. So, clergy are mandated reporters. They have to tell the police if they hear about it.
Yes, and that's
it's against the law not to.
That's why they get disfellowship. They have to make the report. So that's why they encourage the person to call the police, but they do not call the police.
I'm confused. You said that the victim gets disfellowship because they called the cops?
No, I never said anything about disfellowship.
You just said disfellowship.
No, the person that commits that,
and if
is a member, gets disfellowship.
Well, see, that didn't happen to that person either. The person who was accused of doing this awful thing was nothing happened to them. But it was the victim who was actually expelled. And the parents were shunned. Everybody involved with the victim was pretty much shunned because they were trying to protect the child.
Yeah. That's completely.
That's another thing like that came up. You guys have like this book, right? Like this is what the person was telling me. That this is why it happened to them like that. Because in this book that they give your clergy, it tells them that they're not supposed to call the cops if there's child abuse reported to them. It says that they have to call their whatever office is higher above them. I think it's in New York. But yeah, they have to call them and then listen to whatever they tell them to do. And usually they tell them to keep it quiet. In fact, there's even like they tell them not to tell the congregation about what happens. So they can't know that.
If they happen like you say, it's something wrong.
Yes.
But no normally happens.
No. You can find it in your book. You have access to this book, right? It's called The Shepherding the Flock of God.
Yes.
It's for the guys that run your church.
So we don't have a priest or a father.
No, but you have elders.
Yes, elders.
Yeah.
But there's not one higher than other. So
no, that's not true. You guys have something called the governing body.
So
the governing body.
But we still don't look up to them.
Really? That's no, because I've seen like some pictures online though. Like everybody all like they're rock stars and stuff.
Oh no, not at all.
People pose with them all the time. I actually recognize some of them because I've seen them so much.
Yeah, no.
Like that one Jeffrey Jackson. The reason I even know who he is because of this thing in Australia that happened. The Australian Royal Commission. It's where they investigated a bunch of different organizations and stuff to see how they were dealing with child abuse, and they found over 2,000 victims in Jehovah's Witnesses that were not reported, and that was at the hands of over 1,000 child molesters, child abusers. So, and like in that court case where they were, asking the Jehovah's Witness officials about this, Jeffrey Jackson, that's the guy's name. I think he's an Australian, right?
Oh.
Yeah, he sounded Australian, but yeah.
Yeah, but Jeffrey Jackson. He's a little stocky and bald.
Yeah. And, he's kind of cute little old guy. Yeah. He said. I remember something very interesting when they were asking him questions in his testimony. They asked him, "Do you believe that you're God's sole channel on earth? Do you believe that you're God's sole channel on earth?" And he said that would be presumptuous, that to say that the organization was God's only channel. And that's funny because my Jehovah's Witness friends told me that that's what they believe. They believe that they are God's only channel.
So,
but he said that you guys aren't, basically. He said that would be presumptuous to say something like that. So, kind of weird.
But what like, I don't get what you're saying.
Oh, I'm just saying that if there was a discrepancy, I was wondering if you could clear that up for me. Are you guys God's only channel, or like what's the official belief on that?
Would you say that we're God's only channel if we're trying to spread the word and get everybody to get to know God?
I don't think that's enough evidence to say that anybody is God's only channel.
Exactly.
But you guys teach that, though, because that's what my Jehovah's Witness friends say, that you're God's only channel on earth. And but Jeffrey Jackson said different, and he's like at the top of your thing.
Yeah. So you see, so our followers, we don't follow Jeffrey Jackson. We don't follow the elders. We don't follow men. What we follow is what the Bible says.
You don't follow men? I thought the top people in your church were like these 8 dudes that are in New York.
No.
So then what is their function in your religion?
The Bible?
No, what is their function? What do they
providing
do?
spiritual food for appropriate time, which is in Matthew.
But I mean, then why do they have a special title, and why do they have a special place?
Because there's organizations, so it's like, why are there seraphims? Why are there cherubs? Why is there the Son of God? Why is there God? Because there's organization.
So then it does sound like there's a ranking in your organization.
But we don't look up to those things. Like we don't idolize them.
I don't know. It kind of seems like
we don't say father.
So
We don't say pastor.
Yeah, we don't say father.
Yeah, no, I know you guys.
We're all brothers and sisters.
We're all brothers and sisters, and we're all one. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
One body.
I mean, but
we follow what the Bible says.
Yeah, I don't know. I just thought that was a strange thing. You should look it up, actually. The thing yourself. It's a video of him, and he's speaking to the lawyer, and he's telling him this, that it would be presumptuous to say that you're God's only channel.
Other things, you don't need to believe everything you see in that kind of videos. Because these people.
But this was a government website. This was not like just something on YouTube. No, this was a live streamed government. This was a court case in Australia. You can look it up yourself. This was through the government. A Royal Commission is a huge investigation.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So it's not fake or anything. It's very real.
Yeah, so but you know, if you're really interested in knowing Bible truths, just like you're saying,
Yeah.
you're speaking to us,
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
know, then you should taste and see what it is about.
Hey, can't argue with an advertisement like that. But
Yeah,
yeah,
you need to learn
Yeah,
from
from the Bible,
the Bible.
not from what your friends tell you, not from what these verses tell you, but from what the Bible.
so not from the Watchtower either. Then.
No, yeah,
So don't
no,
listen to
the
the
Bible.
no,
just the Bible.
from the Bible. Yeah.
So that I can learn
So-
everything I need to know
so-
just from the Bible.
Yes,
I don't
so
need the Watchtower.
You don't need the Watchtower. You see, and that's the thing.
Well, that's good.
That's the thing. We don't need these publications to teach you from the Bible. If you want to learn from the Bible,
You
then
can.
so be it. Yes.
Okay, well that's
You
cool.
need a
Because
help.
I had heard different, like
Yeah.
I'd heard that you guys aren't even allowed to research anything outside of your own
Oh.
publications. That you're not allowed to like go and
Can
do
you,
outside
can
research.
you imagine me working in a hospital not able to research?
No, I mean research your religion outside of
Yeah,
it.
no.
So you guys know about your history then. That's cool. So you guys know
Go
that
back
you
from
started off
Charles,
as like
Charles
yeah,
Russell, yes.
you know all that stuff.
Of course.
And you know about all the like that you guys used to have crosses.
Crosses,
And
we
that
used
there
to
was,
smoke,
and
we
there
used
was
to celebrate holidays.
yeah,
Yes.
I saw a picture of the brothers in Brooklyn at a Christmas dinner.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, we even
That's
have
old that I saw.
to be honest, we even have it in our publications.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
And then yeah, I
So
remember
that's that's another false teaching.
what that
Or I mean, a false idea that you have that we're not allowed to research outside.
well, I mean, I'm sure you can, but what happens if you start asking them questions like about the fact that there used to be like Masonic stuff in your Watchtower?
What is it?
And there used to be like spiritism and stuff
That
too.
means you're open-minded.
They don't like that though. They don't like that when you're open-minded.
Who doesn't like that?
From what I heard, they really don't like free thinking. They like for you to just within what's.
But wouldn't that be irony? Like the irony, it's like how would I be able to have a conversation with you if I didn't know what you were talking about?
You're allowed to have a conversation with me because you're trying to get me interested in the Bible. That's why you're allowed, because I'm not seen as somebody that is against the organization.
So say for instance, if you were to be against it, I probably wouldn't know. But you know who does know? Only Jehovah God knows. So now only Jehovah God knows what really is in that person's heart, and to see if their intentions are good.
So, like, if somebody like approached you here and they were like, they don't like you guys for whatever reason, they don't like you guys, and they're telling you all this bad stuff about you, then would you guys turn away and just not talk to them?
Exactly.
Why? I mean, why not defend your organization? Why not say, well, that's not true, that's not true?
See, the thing is, we're not here to fight. Our purpose here is not to stand in front of
But you're here to teach people about your organization, right?
Exactly.
Exactly.
So why would I want to argue with someone that's not humbly wanting to learn about something, that wants to fight and is in complete opposition?
Well, I don't know.
It wouldn't make sense. It would be futile.
I would just feel bad. Like if I really truly believe something with all my heart, I would feel horrible if somebody came up to me and told me that this and this and this, and then I would want to tell them. I would want to tell them.
Jesus never cried.
Yeah.
When the people do what
But Jesus also talked to people about everything.
Yes,
Exactly. And he also knew who were the hypocrites.
Yes.
Yeah, but Jesus had a little special ability on his side. That's not fair.
Now we also have Jehovah's Holy Spirit and his angels guiding us too.
Oh yeah.
So
Watch out. We're gonna knock each other over later.
Yeah. So and that's the thing. If the person like you want to know, you have these questions.
Oh yeah.
And you're humbly listening to them.
Literally sitting below you and everything.
And I also work in a school, and just like you said, I'm humbly sitting below you. What happens when a teacher comes and is over the student? It's frightening. Why? Because they probably have insecurities. They're probably not confident. But because that child is humble and is willing to learn, they're at that right position. And Jehovah will guide that person. Because they have
heard that.
a
The right
humble
heart condition.
Yeah.
That's the word I heard before, heart condition. I remember it because it sounded like, like
You have
have
to
heart disease or
to
something.
be God's friend. You literally have to be honest, humble, and hungry.
Honest, hungry, and hungry. Well, I'm hungry. I'm honest. Humble, not all the time. Not all the time, but I try.
Yeah. We all lack, and we all have different qualities. We all have virtues that some exceed perfectly well and some don't.
Right.
So we're not perfect. Have you ever heard that saying, "Practice makes perfect"? Okay,
But
so
that's not true.
that's not true. When will we ever be perfect in this world? Never. So when will we stop practicing? Never. So.
No.
But
What about
I think it's already 2 o'clock.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh,
Didn't mean to keep
you got
so
2 more
long.
minutes.
Didn't mean to keep you so long. But well, I
Yeah.
guess my last question would be about like basically the shunning thing. Like
So
people actually kill themselves over that,
you know,
People's I've heard of people committing suicide and stuff from that. Because their families won't talk to them anymore. It's pretty sad.
Okay, let me tell you. I grew up, and I'm going to share something personal and private.
Absolutely.
My mother was discipleship. I grew up with someone that was discipleship. My uncle was an apostate.
Oh wow.
So I grew up.
So you grew up with somebody that was completely against what you believe,
Yes.
like completely against it, constantly telling you stuff.
Yes.
That's
And
gotta be
even
difficult.
blasphemy against God's name and said that God didn't exist.
Oh wow.
So guess what? What I just told you, those 3 H's. I'm hungry, I'm humble, and I'm honest. And if you want to have that personal relationship with Jehovah,
You have to be those things.
you have to do those things. Because I grew up in a pack of wolves.
Wow. Well, definitely have a strong will if you can resist people trying to tell you something.
Yes. And about sexual relationships and abuses, that also happened in my family.
Oh, wow.
So I know exactly what you're talking about. Now, not by witnesses, but
that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, my goodness.
So, yeah.
I mean, I'm still just shocked that kind of stuff would even happen. But yeah,
But
no.
then again,
If you guys are allowed to, you should totally work because I don't know what you're allowed to read of the guys that are above you guys, but the shepherding the flock of God book. There's a little part in it that I told you that says that they're not supposed to call the cops. They're supposed to call the people that are above them.
So anytime a report is made like that, they advise a person to call the police and make the report. Because say for instance, if something like that happens, it's up to the person to make that report. So if I was raped and I didn't tell nobody, whose fault is it?
The rapist?
No. And who's else?
The person that you told about it because
what if you didn't tell nobody?
You didn't tell anybody. Well, I don't know what to say to that. That's probably because you're frightened and you're a child, or you're frightened.
But whose fault is it?
It's nobody's fault. That's a horrible word to use for that. Absolutely wrong.
If you don't tell nobody, whose fault is it? It's your own fault.
Don't say that. That's terrible. Oh my God. No. I don't like the use of the word fault in this case because I'm a victim myself, and I would.
Me too.
I would not. That's a nasty thing to say.
So who would be responsible if you don't tell nobody?
I still say it's not a matter of being responsible. It's a matter of why do you want to put the blame on the victim?
You're not putting the blame on the victim.
I'm not talking about if they don't tell anybody. I'm talking about if they report it to an elder and the elder doesn't say anything. That is wrong. Not only is that morally reprehensible, but it is against the law.
About religion.
I am.
Yeah. But right now what I'm talking about
I'm saying it's morally reprehensible
Yeah.
and it's against the law.
Yeah.
He has to report it. If somebody anybody that's an elder in your congregation, they are required by law to report that. That's what mandated reporter means.
Yes.
You should know because you're also a mandated reporter.
So yes. So and it does say in Leviticus 5:1, and I'll show it to you.
Doesn't it also say in the Bible you have to render unto Caesar what is Caesar's, as in follow the law of that you're living in?
That's the law of Caesar.
Right. So
here
you should be reporting this kind of
So
stuff.
here it says, if someone sins because he has heard a public cause to testify, and he is a witness or has seen or learned about it, if he does not report it, then he will answer for for his error. Right? That's in Leviticus 5.
So what you're saying
So-
is wait on Jehovah.
No, not at all. So, like, say for instance, not talking through a Bible standpoint or religious standpoint.
Mhm.
If I am raped or attempted to be raped and I don't say anything, then I let that happen, and because I didn't tell no one, you know.
I don't really see it that way. That's just a really awful way of looking at that.
So, like, now the victim is not at fault for what the perp did, you know, not at all.
Right.
You know, that's.
But that's just a nasty way to view yourself. If you're, because people are terrified of reporting these kinds of things.
It's also ugly to view if you don't report it yourself.
Hmm?
It's also ugly to view yourself if you don't report it.
Sure, but you got to understand. I mean, you understand, since you said this has happened to you, that from the standpoint of a victim, like especially if you're a child in this situation, you are terrified. Everybody around you thinks that this person is a good person. They don't understand, and you're afraid of what they're going to do to you or how they're going to treat you after that.
Yeah.
Like.
Well, I mean,
So that's why I don't like the way that that's being phrased. Like, whose fault is it?
Yeah.
It's not. Don't say that to somebody who's a victim. Oh my goodness.
So no. And what I'm saying is, I'm not saying that the person is at fault for that happening to them. That I never said that anything.
No, I know you didn't say that, but you're saying whose fault is it if you don't tell? There's no fault. It's just they just don't tell.
So
It's what happens because the person is scared.
yeah. So
Right.
it's like what?
It just
Then
makes
she
it
needs to
sound
find
really
the
ugly.
courage
Like
to say
like they're
So
just.
I guess the proper word wasn't used, but it's like
No, it just makes it sound like, well, it's your own damn fault if you don't, if you didn't report it. Like, too bad. Like, what did you expect?
So it's just like
It's just kind of horrible. But that has nothing to do with what I was talking about, though. I was literally just asking about if your elder doesn't report it, how is that okay? It's not.
Yeah.
It's not.
Well, I clearly showed you in Leviticus 5:1. If you know, you have to let someone know.
Yes, and that includes the elders. They have to.
So that's why they make the report.
They have to, but
Yes.
amazingly enough, it doesn't say that in that book that tells them what to do. In the book, it says not to tell anybody except for the branch.
If you can bring me the book and show it to me.
Oh, I think I can't bring you the book. I'm not an elder.
Yeah. Well, what book did you say? Because I could probably
Shepherding the Flock of God. You're probably not going to be able to have access to it either. It's just for elders.
No, actually, everything is open to the public.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, let's have a look at it then. I'd love to see that book. Absolutely. You guys got to be careful. That thing's going to blow away.
So something happened in the congregation, and somebody else. Okay.
Always do the God's word. God is first, always. Some people don't learn.
If I know something happened in the congregation, my coach said I need to say something.
Yeah.
Good. Good. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah.
Because I am concerned about especially after that Australian Royal Commission thing.
No.
That's a lot of people not getting reported.
Somebody else know what happened. We need to say it.
Yeah.
Good. I'm glad to hear that from you guys. At least I know that maybe one congregation is okay.
If we don't know, we don't know. Right?
But that's the thing. That's the thing. The elders.
The Bible tells us if we don't say what happened,
Then we're at fault.
Right. Well, that's another thing though. Like, the elders find out about this stuff, they don't tell the congregation.
because it's a private matter.
Not if it's child abuse. You have to tell people, watch out because there's this person in the congregation that
They
could
tell
molest
us
your kids.
later, so like that person
They
is
hide
no
this
more than
information.
Jehovah's Witness.
They even tell them that it's not they specifically tell them not to tell them.
Why? Happy?
So when, say for instance, if there's any type of sinning in the congregation, it's kept a private matter, and that's why there's disfellowship. Now,
But that's for something like, you slept with somebody else's wife or something. Not like a child was abused. That is a very serious crime. I would think that they would want to warn everybody in the congregation about the person that did this.
Yeah. So when stuff like that happens, we are aware of it.
You are?
Yes.
Okay, that's interesting because I literally saw a letter that was addressed to all the congregations, to all the elders anyway, Not anybody. It was just to the body of elders, and it said that they are not allowed to tell the congregation that.
So, as a witness, we are
Or what?
aware.
Aware of what?
Of what happens.
So if you know about it, why do you stay in there?
What do you mean?
Like, you said you know
Because
that you
God's not.
No, I'm saying like
my
you know.
relationship
No.
with God is.
I'm saying you know. Let me make sure I have this right. You know that the elders do not tell you that they're hiding
we're aware.
pedophiles in their congregation. You know about that, but you stick around in
So
an
it's
organization that
because the person that tell us the person is not more Jehovah's Witness. They remove it to the congregation.
Yeah, they're
Do
not
not
always.
contaminate
There's a
them.
pedophile right now sitting in a kingdom hall in this city.
So, like, say for instance, I'm a
Oh my
pedophile.
goodness.
I'm a pedophile, right? Say for instance, I'm a pedophile. I can sit in the congregation.
You're allowed to be in the meeting if you're a child molester.
Yeah, it's open to the public.
Even child molesters.
Even people that blaspheme.
I have 2 kids. I don't know if I'd be okay, like taking my kids to a place where there's child molesters.
Just say for
When
instance,
the people remove it,
Especially not if I don't know there's the freaking child molesters in there. That's like, wow.
So just say for instance, Catholic churches. What do? They don't remove them. They just ship them off to another country. You know,
Right.
but you know what? The interesting is another congregation of church happens.
Of
They
course it
never
does.
remove the people for the church.
Yeah, I've seen
And
similar
if
things
Jehovah's
happen with the
Witness,
Jehovah's
they
Witnesses.
remove
They
the people.
switch the elders over to another congregation and stuff. No, that happened. That's not a lie. Don't say no. It happened. I know.
So then you're probably you were a witness.
Nope. I have friends that are witnesses. Told you. Like I said, I have very close friends. I know a lot about like what they've told me. They tell me things.
That friend say the Jehovah's Witness.
So
And that friend says Jehovah's Witness.
when someone you see when that person talks
Or
bad,
a Jehovah's Witness. Not anymore.
Okay.
Not after they found out about that stuff. But I do know current Jehovah's Witnesses who have told me that these things are true.
When people talk bad about Jehovah, it's blaspheming against the spirit.
They're not talking badly about Jehovah. They're talking badly about the organization.
And who is guiding the organization?
Not Jehovah. Apparently, if there's pedophiles in there.
So, but are we perfect?
No, but you would think God's organization would at least have some things in place to protect
So then,
people
what
from pedophiles.
organization would be perfect?
Well, if you read the Bible, then the Bible
Bible is
the Bible
perfect.
says that God is no part of this world.
That was Jesus.
Yeah, right. Well, you guys don't think Jesus and God are the same person, but
Yeah.
anyway, yeah. But no part of this world. So, like, as in, why would he put his why would he make an organization on Earth if
Well, why would he put us on Earth?
I'm just saying, like, he says himself, no part of this world.
Exactly.
Therefore, it would not make logical sense for God to have an organization on Earth.
Well, then that's my question. What
There isn't
do
one.
we serve here?
There isn't an organization, I think.
Well, in the
Makes any
Bible,
sense.
it does talk about, Earth being a paradise and being able to enjoy life without those worries such as molesters and pedophiles and rapists.
Right, but for now, you guys hide that from the congregation.
We don't. And like we said,
But you want you want me to look up the letter and show you where it says that you're not allowed to?
No,
Or they don't know more because there's like so many questions. As you can see, I have tons of questions.
Yes, you might explore it. Right?
So, or what we can do is we can meet here again on Saturday, and we can talk more about this. And you can bring.
Are you sure? Because I could totally look it up right now and pull up the letter to the body of elders. That's what it says, and it's got your guys' header on it and everything. I'm pretty sure that's yours.
But then again, like you said, you got friends that were Jehovah's
And
Witnesses.
current ones. And current ones.
It,
and they confirm that the things that I've been asking you about are actually true. These are people that don't have a problem with your organization at all.
In the home or not?
Huh?
The persons?
Do they? Yep.
And
they go out door to door. Mm-hmm. Yes, ma'am. They certainly do, and they believe that they don't have anything wrong with the things that I'm talking about. They're kind of like you, and they just reason it out of their head, or they, they're just like, well, I mean, there's a reason we do this, and there's a reason we do that, and I'm just like,
that's an answer. With the Bible.
Right.
The answer to
Oh no, this is another thing. Like like I said, most of the time when I ask questions, go to the website, open our app, something like that, and I'm like,
You don't
well,
think
just tell me, just talk to me, just talk to me like a person.
And that's why I didn't want to show you the app.
Right. Well, I'm glad. I'm glad you answered my questions. I like it when people talk to me like a human being instead of just here's a website.
Or I didn't want to show you any publications, or it's like I did, but then again,
Well, we're having a good discussion anyway.
It's
So
like, why don't I show her, what I know and what I can answer,
Right.
Because then guess what, just like you saw right now, I didn't use any publication.
Well, I mean, you pulled up the Bible a couple of times,
Yeah,
right?
well,
That's the Bible.
But that's the Bible, yeah. So, it's to show you. So our purpose here is to show everybody. But our time here was only till 2.
Yeah, I'm
So
sorry,
we're
I
gonna-
didn't mean to keep you over.
we're gonna-
Hey,
we're
you
gonna-
get to count that extra time,
We're
though,
gonna
right?
leave. But if you want to, we'll be here at again next week. But
On a Saturday or on a Sunday?
Saturday and Sunday.
Oh, okay. All right. Next
but-
time I'll bring a Bible.
Yes.
Next time I will bring a Bible.
So
We'll
my
have a
name
little
is
mini study.
Dorcas.
Your name is what?
Dorcas.
Really?
Yes.
How do you even spell that?
It's biblical. It's a Dorcas. It's Greek.
Okay, well, my name is Ash.
Ash.
Yeah.
I said,
Beatriz. Oh, that's beautiful.
just like Ash Ketchum.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, the full name is Asher for me, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, it's cool. Mm-hmm. Asher.
I'll try to pronounce it correctly.
Oh, yeah, I like your name. It's very pretty.
Beatriz.
Beatriz. That's beautiful. I have an aunt named
Your name.
Eunice, and I feel bad for her. Because, I mean, in Spanish, I think it's Eunice in Spanish.
Yeah, it's biblical.
Yeah.
That was Timothy's grandma.
Eunice, yeah. I think my grandma was named after Esther in the Bible.
Adasa.
Yeah,
It's
and
her Hebrew name. Esther's Hebrew name is Adasa.
yeah. And I don't know. I had other families named after stuff in the Bible. So,
Very nice.
yeah,
Do you have a son? Yeah. You don't look like a mama.
Yeah.
You're very young.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
you look very young.
Oh no, I'm about to turn 31. No way.
I'm 38.
I thought you were a teenager. I
Oh,
thought you were
well,
like
thanks.
18.
Yeah, that's actually what my dad said to me yesterday when he saw me. He was like, "You look like a little 13-year-old boy." And I'm like, "Well, thanks, Dad." But yeah, no, I literally am about to turn 31 in 2 weeks. So I'm old, and I have 2 kids. My oldest one is 11.
She says she's old. And I'm 48. Come on.
Oh,
Please.
yeah, you're not old. You don't even look
And she's
48.
older
She
than
doesn't
me.
look 48. You don't look anything like 48.
I'm
Nothing.
going to dress with her.
But yeah. All right, guys. Well, thanks a lot for
Well, nice
talking to
to
me. I
meet
really
you.
appreciate everything. Oh, and I'm knocking all my
See
stuff.
you next week, okay?
Thank you so much. I appreciate you putting up with my
guys are
long
cold.
questions. Oh yeah, no, it's just naturally I'm like that.
Oh, okay.
The rest of me is very warm though. Oof.
See, I'm gonna go.
I guess it's because I don't get a lot of blood flow to my hands or something. But anyway, I hope you guys have a wonderful day and that
You too.
you enjoy the rest of
Think
your
you
day.
lost your boss again or not?
Yeah, but it's okay. I'm just gonna go to Taco Cabana instead.
Oh, yeah.
It's right there.
Well, enjoy it.
Thank you. You have a good one, ladies. Bye bye. Oh wait, I didn't get your number.
Yes.
Or did you want me to get that when I come back next week? Either way, I will be back.
Yes.
I will be back. I'll bring a Bible. And you know what? I'll bring one of your Bibles
Okay. Yeah.
because I have one.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, Saturday or Sunday, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Bye, guys.